What? I told you not to interrupt me, and I'm trying to talk about myself and my story.
I told you not to slur your S's and say is.
I'm already slurring.
Yeah, but like first sentence, I just told you not to do it, and you do it.
Okay, no slurring. Hi, my name's Cody Everson. Growing up, I loved playing all kinds of sports. The All Blacks as a child was like just the best thing ever, and that's what I wanted to be when I grew up. I was playing rugby for my high school team, and I was the youngest, I was the smallest. I always remember Mum saying that, you know, you're too small for this, you're going to get hurt, and as a 15-year-old boy, you think you're invincible. I was 15 years old when my life changed forever. I was playing rugby for my high school team. It was the first 2 minutes of the game where a tackle went horribly wrong, and unfortunately for me, it left me tetraplegic.
Are you all my personal dreams? Everything you know is in your mind.
Watching that is the last time I ever walked. It's crazy. I remember hitting the ground and trying to get back up, and I couldn't, and I was like really confused. And for anyone that's had pins and needles before, I had pins and needles from my forehead to my toes. It was it was pretty scary but confusing at the same time, because I was getting stood on and it was stinging more in those places. I could not get up, and I just did not know what was going on. The manager, you can see in the video that he's actually looking, and he comes out and stops the game, and he said to me, he's like, I seen something in your eyes where I knew something was wrong. Going back and looking on that video, I can see like I'm trying to move, and I can remember my thoughts going, what is going on? I can't move. Team doctor was come up, and he started touching my legs, and he's like, can you feel that? And I'm like, nah, I can't feel a thing. I think he thought that maybe I broke my leg. And from when as soon as I said I couldn't feel, that's when he told one of the guys to hold my neck and keep my neck stable. They called an ambulance. I remember getting put into the ambulance, and I said to the coach, I was like, I'll be back. Don't take my boots off, I'll be back. Never got back. And in a way, I'm quite thankful I've got it all on video. I had no clue what I was going to be in for the next 6 months. Around the time of my accident was the Christchurch earthquake, so all the roads were still damaged. The hospital was about a 5-minute drive, and I think that trip took at least half an hour, getting into the hospital and seeing about 12 doctors surrounding the bed and my mum and dad. I was like, oh shit, I'm pretty screwed here. And they started to cut off my uniform, and I'm like, no, like leave it, because I was like, I knew something was bad, but I was still a bit in denial. I got surgery to fuse my neck back together. I spent the following 2.5 weeks in ICU. I still didn't actually know what I had done. Like I knew that I couldn't move, I couldn't walk or anything like that, but I didn't know that this was going to be permanent. It was just, the main focus then was just, I don't even know what the main focus was, to be honest with you. I was just like a sitting duck in there. How I went to the toilet, I don't know anything like that. I don't even think I got a shower, to be honest with you. Leaving ICU, I got transferred to another hospital, and it was one of the best things ever because I got to see outside. I was in the ambulance and I was cruising to the other hospital, and I still didn't know I was never going to walk again. I didn't have a clue, and it was just awesome to be out of hospital. Getting to the Burwood spinal unit, going through the doors and seeing all these wheelchairs, and it's like, okay, this is strange. Got to my room. I was 15 at the time, so I got my own room, which was pretty cool. I was pretty happy about that. And the doctors come in, and the first thing they say to me is, "You're never going to walk again." I'm like, fuck. Righto, I'm gonna walk. I'm so gonna walk. In a way, like I do appreciate the honesty and coming in and saying to me, "You're never gonna walk again," because I think I needed that. When you get told you're never gonna walk again, it is a bit of a shock, and I didn't believe it. I think I knew that I had to just try and get on with it, and getting in a wheelchair for the first time was pretty weird, and I had to be pushed around. I eventually got my own power chair. It was the best thing ever, honestly, like just that little bit more independence where I could get in this chair and I could just cruise around by myself without having to have anyone around me. The toughest times in hospital was definitely adapting to having to have everything done for me. I couldn't do anything for myself. Like, I was getting fed, I was getting showered, I was getting, people were dressing me, and as a 15-year-old boy, that's the last thing you want, is someone literally there 24/7 to do everything for you, because you literally cannot do it yourself. It sucked. It was like, the best way I can put it is, you imagine being a baby and being fully aware that you're a baby and you're got someone doing everything for you. And I can imagine a lot of people would be like, oh, that's amazing. But until it's all taken away, no one will understand. It was really a driving force for me to go, I need to learn how to do this stuff. I need to, I don't want this for the rest of my life, is having someone do every single little thing for me. That's where the rehab and the competitiveness and the challenging myself really come into play, where everything was a challenge now. Getting out of bed was a challenge, putting socks on, everything was a challenge, and I think I thrived off that. Going to the gym to start my rehab, when you go to a gym, you expect to be lifting weights. I remember going into the gym and just seeing like beds, and it was like, oh, what the hell am I in for? And like for me, it was all about rehab and learning how to adapt to a new life, and that was how to get on and off a bed, how to put a sock on, how to hold a fork, like pretty much learning how to do everything all over again. And it was hard. Like I'd come back and I'd be so tired after the gym. A bit about my disability: I'm a C5-6 tetraplegic, no function in my fingers. I got hand surgery a few years out of hospital and it changed my life, best thing ever, so highly recommend that. Triceps don't have too much, so all you people in wheelchairs, you'll know what I'm talking about. I got nothing from the chest down. I'm a bit weird how I do have some good sensation though, so sitting in my wheelchair all day can get a bit sore. I was extremely lucky during my time in hospital because the spinal unit was in my hometown. I had friends and family come and see me literally every day for 6 months. It made the journey, it made the days go quicker. I'm very thankful for that, because a lot of people weren't from there and they didn't have family coming to see them all the time. So I know it would have been really tough for them. Having people around you to take your mind off it at times was a great distractor for me, and it was also a driving force, because it was like seeing them come and then go was like, oh man, I just want to get back to normal. I want to get back to living my life. That's exactly what I did. I didn't dwell on the little things. Of course, it sucked not being able to leave with them or go to parties or anything like that, but I knew that where I was the best place, and that was all going to happen when I got out of there. It was like I got a lot of catching up to do when I get out of hospital. I learned that things weren't exactly the same, and I'm not going to be able to do the things that I could do beforehand. It's where a quote that I always go by is, don't let what you can't do affect what you can do. And that stuck with me 9 years later, because there's a lot of things I can't do, but there's a lot of things I can do. I knew I couldn't let this accident define me, and I was willing to do whatever to get back to normal, get back to hanging out with friends and just being a normal 15-year-old boy. While I was in hospital, I got approached about wheelchair rugby, and at first I was like, oh, I'm gonna walk, so I don't need to play wheelchair rugby. Like, and that slowly faded away. It was like, okay, well, what I'm got, and I'm gonna make the most of what I've got and get on with it. So wheelchair rugby was one of those things that really helped me. Going back home after 6 months in hospital was a bit scary, because I had my safety net. Like I was so used to living in a hospital, having nurses and other, people with spinal injuries around, and leaving that place and going back to, I guess, living a normal life again, and yeah, it was scary. I didn't know what going home was gonna be like. I didn't know what it was gonna look like. It was like, I'm gonna have to go back to school. There's also, are my friends gonna stick by me when I get back home? I was also still so reliant on people leaving hospital that it was scary that is there still going to be people around to help me? Wheelchair rugby was one of the best things I have ever gotten into. I've met so many amazing people and so many different people who have had different accidents or they were born with a disability. So it was kind of like a shock, and it was also great for my independence, seeing ways people do things and people with less function than me were doing so much more than me, and just watching the little things they do and picking up on, go, oh wow, I'm gonna try that. Also being a part of a team again was amazing, just being around a group of people and feeling normal, like just feeling normal, because I'd always played a team sport, and it's great to get into another team sport and realizing that the sport can actually take me to national honors, and being able to represent my country again, which was a dream since I was a little boy, become a reality again. So I knew that that was also a massive driving force for me, that was going to make me push to even better myself even more. The first time going to a wheelchair rugby training was it was pretty cool, like just seeing these chairs and they were all just smashing into each other. I was like, oh wow, yeah, that's a bit of me. The first time I got into a chair, they set me up in the middle of the court and they all circled me, and just one by one they called my name and smashed into me. One of the best things about being involved with wheelchair rugby was you weren't wrapped in a cotton wool. You weren't, like, people treated you different whether you liked it or not outside, like, and going into wheelchair rugby was where where I felt a lot more normal, and everyone has a story and everyone's been through something, and we've all got together and just getting on with it. And I think that's why we have that connection. One of the best things about getting back into a sport was finding myself again, in a way, like being around a team, getting that competitiveness back, and also just wanting to be really good at something again. Sport-wise was a big factor for me, and has really helped me get to where I am now. Still being able to travel has been one of the biggest highlights for me. I've been able to travel all over the world playing wheelchair rugby, which I didn't think was going to be possible. So to be able to still get on a plane and go to the other side of the world, perception's one of those things that I've had to kind of get used to, because a lot of people assume that I've been in a wheelchair all my life. And to be honest with you, if I was in their position and I seen someone in a wheelchair, I'd assume the same thing, because I didn't have a clue. And now that I know that, like, because I've gone through it and now obviously I'm in a wheelchair, the one thing that I've learned from all of this is don't judge people in the way they deal with things, because we're all so different. I do believe though that you have to stay positive, and you have to challenge yourself, and you have to always want to better yourself. You put yourself in a position where you get told you can't do something anymore, your instant thought is negativity and or like, just try and stop me. And until that's forced away from you, you don't know how you're going to deal with it. I'm very fortunate that I've dealt with it really well, I think. I've done some documentaries with Attitude TV, and they've done an amazing job. From when I first had my accident, they sort of followed me through for the past 9 years, and it's awesome watching those videos back and seeing how far I've come, and also, I guess, being proud of of what I've actually achieved and how my independence has gotten a lot better, and I've met some amazing people along the way who have really helped that. So I'm now 24 years old, 15 years old when I had this, and now 24. I'm getting on, and my perspective on life hasn't changed. I've got an amazing partner, Jess, who, if you watch some of my videos, you'll see her on. She helps me with everything, which makes our lives easier. I own my own house now. I've got 2 cool little dogs that are little shits, but they're fun to be around. I get to play a sport that I really love, and I get to represent New Zealand. Fortunately for the Wheel Blacks, we actually qualify for Tokyo Paralympics, so that's something I'm super excited for. The plan is to make a lot more of these videos. I'm kind of want people to know more about me. I could go on for days about the past 9 years and what I've been through, to what I've done, to my struggles, but I think I've talked about enough. I can talk a lot, but I'd love for people, if you see this and there's something that you want to know more about me, or that you've seen in my other videos and are curious to know where we were or anything like that, like, please ask. And for all you keyboard warriors, get at me as well. So if you see someone in a wheelchair, don't buzz out, buy them a drink. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you liked the videos, and if you do, subscribe.